you realize that 21.8% of American children under the age of 8 lived in poverty in 2012, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, in an article by Valerie Strauss. According to Valerie Strauss, children continue to be America's poorest children, poorest people. With the younger they are, the poorer they are. According to the Huffington Post, the average reading level of American adult is a 5th grade reading level, and 19% of high school graduates not being able to read, and 21% of high school graduates reading below a 5th grade level. According to TeachForAmerica.org, 16 million children live in poverty, and only 8% of these children graduate from college by the age of 24. The purpose of my speech is to persuade you to give some of your time and volunteer to become a member of the Teach for America organization. I am credible to speak on this topic due to my extensive research on this topic. I will begin by discussing the needs that this organization tries to fulfill in these lower income communities. I will offer you a solution to a growing need in the communities for educational equality. Lastly, I will give you an example of what can happen if we do not fulfill these needs in these lower income communities. First, let's discuss the needs of the organization. There is a need for educational equality for lower income children in the United States. This need for educational equality is much needed due to a lack of support for these children who can achieve at the highest level if given the educational opportunity to do so. According to the Huffington Post, African American children who grow up in low income areas have a 76% chance of graduating from high school, compared to a 96% chance of African American children who grow up in affluent areas. And white children who grow up in low income areas had an 87% chance of graduating from high school, compared to a 96% chance of white children who grow up in affluent areas. According to the Huffington Post, African American children were 7 times more likely than white children to experience living in poverty, and had a 1 in 4 chance of living in poverty. Children who are living in low income areas often do not have opportunities that their affluent counterparts do to finish high school and to go to college due to their poor living conditions and the stress involved with home obligations. According to Patricia McGuire, there is a plan for these students in the low income areas called the Trinity Plan. This gives personal attention to these students by giving them support from members of the faculties of these schools, such as academic advisors, financial aid counselors, specialists in reading, writing, and math. And according to Patricia McGuire, most barriers to going to college for these students are the children have the burden of caring for a sick family member, working full-time, having chronic health issues themselves, and poor living conditions, which leads to little time for these children to study. According to the One-to-One Fund, 52% of high school students from low-income families immediately enroll in college after school. This figure is 30% lower than their wealthier peers. According to the One-on-One Fund, children with $500 or less in a college savings account are 3 times more likely to enroll in college and 4 times more likely to graduate from college than children who don't have a savings account. Children with savings accounts are 3 times more likely to go to college than children with a savings account without a savings account. And the statistics show that 72% of students with college savings enroll in college, and 33% graduate, and 33% without savings just enroll. 45% and 7% graduate. Children who live in low-income communities should be given more opportunities to be successful in school, therefore encouraging graduation from high school and enrollment in college, providing educational equality in lower-income areas of the U.S. A growing movement of of leaders, nearly 32,000 in work at every level of education, whether it's in policy, other professions, to ensure that all children in low-income areas go to college, according to teachforamerica.com. It is vital that to find committed individuals who will work hard to expand educational opportunity by teaching for 2 years in these low-income areas across the United States, according to teachforamerica.com. These individuals provide the encouragement needed for these children in lower income areas and provide educational equality, which encourage these children to graduate from school and go to college. In areas with low income range, they often have children who are capable of achieving at the highest level, and if given the educational opportunity to do so, they can do this. If action is done to give educational equality in low income areas, then we can increase chances of graduating from high school, going to college, and receiving a degree. According to the Huffington Post, a zip code will decide how you achieve in life, and if we do not provide educational equality, this fact will remain true. According to Teach for America, 50% of children live in poverty, and of these children, only 1 in 10 go to college. Why not do something to change this statistic? Let's bring educational equality to these low-income areas, and this cannot be done without the help of volunteers who will go into these communities and provide equal education opportunity to the children in these communities. You can become a volunteer of this organization by taking these steps following graduation from college. Apply online at teachforamerica.org by the deadline, August 1st, 2014 being the deadline for 2015. You must have a bachelor's degree by the time the Summer Institute starts and a GPA of 2.5 to 4.0. You must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent national citizen. You're going to fill out an online application that shows you are a highly motivated individual willing to give 2 years to one of these low-income areas and work in a low-income area, and you're going to choose a region that you would like to work in and the area with the highest need for educational equality in that area. Becoming a member of this team will give students in this area a chance at a quality education that they would not otherwise have and receive due to poor living conditions and lower income levels in that community. If you choose to become a member of this organization, you can be assured that you will make a big difference in these children's lives by giving them educational equality and lowering the educational inequality in these problematic areas in the U.S. You can give these children a chance to go to college, graduate from high school, and be proud of themselves. We can do this by reducing the high school dropout rates, reducing adult illiteracy, and non-enrollment in college for these children. You can do this by starting at any educational level, whether you want to teach at the elementary, high school, or middle school level. You can do this and give educational equality to students who would not otherwise have this opportunity. Without organizations such as the Teach for America organization, these students would continue to have low college enrollment, and they would not be able to read and write at any level of school. By working for this organization, you are giving these children the necessary tools they need to graduate from high school and to become a college graduate. Today, I have talked to you about how equal education opportunity is needed for children in these low-income areas. I've discussed with you how to volunteer for this organization and how volunteering will change these children's lives, and how if we don't volunteer, this can really affect these children's lives in these low-income areas. Hopefully, I have persuaded you to volunteer for Teach for America, and please give these children a fighting chance for an equal education, and go to www.teachforamerica.org and sign up to volunteer. Thank you.